going on, Jerome's? So one of the questions of the offseason was who's going to play quarterback for the Vikings long term. Like, was it going to be Slinging Sammy Darnold, a.k.a. America's quarterback, or JJ McCarthy, the pride of Michigan? Hail to the victor. Yeah. And their commitment to JJ was as deep as this V. And with the news that the Vikings decide not to tag Slinging Sammy Darnold and have not signed him to a long-term deal, it's pretty clear that it is JJ McCarthy's team. That was the plan all along, and it is what it is. Now, full disclosure, I mean, we talked throughout the season. I mean, Darnold was playing at extremely high level. After that Jaguars game debacle, he went on a sun run for about 7 games. He was clearly a top 5 quarterback, not only statistically, but eyeball test. And after that huge win against the Packers, I mean, he was a large favorite to get a massive contract. But as we said at the time, hey, you want JJ McCarthy to play at the level that Darnold is playing, yes, but what's going to determine things is how Darnold plays in the biggest games and into the playoffs. Because if Darnold led the Vikings to a Super Bowl win, or at least played well in the playoffs, like, you're just going to give him the money, right? Plans change. It is what it is. But yeah. Now, the Rams game is what it is. I mean, getting sacked 9 times, can't do anything about it. He didn't play well either, but neither did the offensive line. The Lions game is still what stands out to me the most, because the biggest game of the year, it was for all the marbles, the 1 seed, the NFC North, and I mean, the Lions defense was depleted. Remember that, through all the injuries and stuff, but you went 18 of 41. It still irks me. I can still see, I can't believe my eyes. I still see it in my dreams, just Darnold on 4th and goal, wide open Justin Jefferson, wide open Addison, wide open everyone, and just misfiring. I mean, the Lions game, the Rams game was bad. The Lions game was 10 times worse. It was just, can't trust him. Can't do it. So as much love as we had for Darnold here, it's not an exaggeration that Darnold may have burned $100 million fully guaranteed, because at this moment, he was getting $50 million a year, whether from the Vikings or somewhere else. But then, yikes. But I guess silver lining is it did make things clear. Like, it is JJ McCarthy's show. He was plan A, plan B, plan C, and he is that guy. That's why they traded up, made him the highest drafted quarterback in team history. It's interesting. If he didn't have the knee injury, like, what would have happened his rookie season? Would he have been inserted in the lineup after the bye week, after Darnold was whatever against the Jets? What about after the Jaguars game? Don't really know. But it is officially it's Justin Jefferson's team too, but also JJ McCarthy's. But there was no concerted effort to keep Darnold. Because if they wanted to keep Darnold, they could have. They could have franchise tagged him. They could have transition tagged. They could have worked out a long-term deal. If they were just completely champing at the bit to be like, hey, we are not letting Sam Darnold leave, they could have done it. It's one of those, if they wanted to, they would, sort of deal. But they're perfectly fine. You know, the company line the entire time, Sam's earned the right to test free agency. It's exactly what they did with Kirk Cousins last offseason. Also, you know, JJ, highest drafted quarterback team history. He was always plan A, B, and C. If everything went according to Hoyle, you brought in Darnold as a $10 million bridge quarterback. JJ is going to develop as a rookie. Maybe he has a redshirt year. Maybe he steps in. And then 2025, you're going to turn over the reins to him, right? And also, the knee is good to go. Because if they didn't have faith in JJ, after a year with him in practices and in that quarterback room, if they didn't have faith in his knee, they would have been knocking down the doors to make sure that Darnold stays with the Vikings, because they have the cap space. They would have had the motivation, but obviously they believe in JJ. They believe in that knee. They're good to go. Also, now you have 3 seasons of low cap hits. Now, most of his cap hits are tied up in that sign-in bonus. His base salary is $1.1 million and lower over the next 3 years before you get to that 5th-year option. So basically, with JJ, you got a quarterback whose cap hits are $7 million or less for the next 3 years. You can use all that glorious cap space to fortify the roster, build an FU team around him, especially on the interior offensive line. They have around $62 million in cap space this year. They're projected to have $107 million in 2026, $177 in 2027. You're going to be good to go. And also, this is the best situation for a young quarterback in the NFL. And for all the reasons why Darnold was good. Kevin O'Connell and this coaching staff, Jefferson, Hockenson, Addison, that all applies to JJ McCarthy. Also, you're going to have a healthy Christian Darrisaw, a greatly improved interior offensive line, as well as an improved running game. So as much as we love the fun story of Sam Darnold win 14 games, 4,300 passing yards, 35 touchdowns, 100-plus quarterback rating, this is J.J. McCarthy's team. It always was. Darnold could have changed the calculus in the playoffs, but he didn't, and it is what it is. And I think that all the insiders just parroting, well, the Vikings could still bring him back. The Vikings could still bring him back. I think partly that's the team doing him a solid as he heads into free agency. Oh, he's in demand. Or it's just straight from Darnold's agent, just trying to gin up a free agent market. Because I don't know, at a certain point, like, do the NFL insiders get sick of being used as a sock puppet for agents? And I get what it is. Hey, if you say this about my client on air, I'll pass along information and blah, blah, blah. But it's how the game is played. But just know that a lot of it is BS season. But I do think that I do think that the market sees Sam Darnold's 2024 season as saw this in the comments. It was great. Like a souped up version of 2017 Case Keenum. Because Case Keenum, after his fantastic season, Minneapolis Miracle and all that stuff, you would think that he would have gotten a sizable free agent deal, multi-years, but wasn't with the Vikings. The market was pretty tepid. Eventually got like a 2-year, $40 million deal with John Elway and the Broncos. Elway, noted personnel genius. Just great. But obviously Keenum wasn't worth that cash. I think that people have reservations about Darnold being worth the cash and also being a viable starter outside of this great situation here in Minnesota, but doesn't matter. Either way, JJ McCarthy's show, that's always been the plan, and he's going to bring a dozen Jerome Bardys to the Vikings the next 10 years. Just woo! Glorious. Glorious. But your thoughts are thoughts. It is officially JJ McCarthy's show. Now, sign offensive lineman more fatties. That's it. Let us know. Comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.